The sun had just set over the streets, casting a golden glow over the high rise buildings. She was trying to study for her exams in the living room, trying to focus. Her elder brother had invited friends over for a dinner party, and she couldn't help but feel a flutter in her chest as she heard the deep voice of one of his brother's friends in particular. She had known him for a few years now. She had always thought of him as his brother's friend only. She couldn't help but notice the way he carried himself with the confidence and authority. He was known for his sharp business acumen and his success in the industry. As she pretended to study, her mind wandered to him and she found herself wondering that what it would be like to be noticed by him in a different way. She had this sudden feeling, a surge of excitement at the prospect of seeing him again. She felt her heart skip a beat as she smiled at him, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was in trouble. As the evening drew to a close, he stood up and stretched. Okay, I think I need to go. Thanks for the food. Seriously, you are my son. Drop these formalities. Okay, my bad. See you then. He got up to leave. She was disappointed. He didn't even bid her a goodbye. But then she smiled and nodded, trying to play it cool despite the flutter in her chest. Thanks. As he turned to leave, she felt a pang of disappointment in her heart. But she had been looking forward to spending more time with him, and by time she meant taking the secret glances at him, and now it seemed it was over. She watched him as he left, feeling a little wistful. She knew that he didn't see her in the same way as she saw him. As night went on, she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was stuck in one-sided crush, and it seemed like it was never going to be reciprocated. She sighed and tried to focus on the convo, but her mind kept wandering back to JK. And then she thought as she was graduating soon, so she might move out for internship. Maybe that would help her. But no. She tried to act normal, but she couldn't help feeling a little self-conscious. He was being his usual friendly self, but she knew that he didn't see her in a romantic way, and that was a bit concerning. As days went by, she realized she needed to move on from this stupid crush or whatever. She started focusing on her own interests and hobbies, trying to distract herself from the thought of him. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to get over her feeling. Let's continue the story with her trying to move on from her crush, finding new interests, hobbies. As she threw herself into newfound hobbies, determined to distract herself from thoughts of him. She started taking painting classes, discovering a hidden talent of watercolors. The creative outlet was just what she needed. She found herself lost in those strokes and colors. As she painted, her mind began to wander less to him. She started to see the world in a new light, noticing the way the light fell on her subjects. Though her painting classes, she met new friends, shared her passion for art. There was Emma, a fellow student who loved Impressionism, and Marcus, a quirky artist with a flair for abstract art. She enjoyed their company. Let's hang out today. Sure. She was deep in her thoughts when her friend Emma noticed it. She noticed that how she was trying to struggle with her own thoughts. I'm telling you this, but I thought you would never say. The way you looked at him when he came to pick you up instead of your brother, it was quite obvious. That's not the problem. The problem is he's my brother's friend, and I'm not aware if he likes me or not. I think I should ignore him for some time. You will get your answer. I think you are right. The moment she entered in the company and was led to the interns department, she found lots of other people there, young men and women, most of her age, some older. They all looked at the new face that was her. She did a small bow and greeted everyone. After giving a small introduction to the team, she went over to the desk assigned to her. The moment she sat, everyone murmured and stood up, seeing him entering the department looking handsome as always. She followed suit and greeted everyone. In the morning, he acknowledged others with a good nod and ordered them to get back to their work. She stayed frozen, staring at him. "You are comfortable here, right?" he asked softly. It made her heart swell, seeing how he cared about her. "Yes, everything is going so well so far." But the thing was, it looked like a fairy tale book. "Here, I brought this for you." He was so thoughtful she couldn't help but blush. "Thank you, you can sit." With a nod, she sat back on as he walked behind her, his eyes on her laptop screen. "If you need any help, you can let me know. Why don't you start so I can see your work process?" The insult was too much to bear. She decided to resign and walk off the company, determined to never look at him. I want to resign, the HR representative noted sympathetically. He could clearly see her swollen eyes. I'm sorry to hear that. She was finally free from the toxic work environment. She took one last look at the company, her eyes lingering on the logo. Goodbye, she whispered to herself. Meanwhile, he was still in his office, unaware of her resignation, busy reviewing the project files, trying to understand what had gone wrong. It wasn't until later that day when he asked her that what, why, sat in the living room reflecting on her experience at that company. She thought about the criticism and how it had affected her. She realized that she had let his words define her self worth, and that was a mistake. I'm worth more than that, she said to herself, her voice firm. She stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the city. She felt a sense of determination wash over her. She was going to move forward from whatever she felt for him. Maybe this isn't meant to be. After leaving the industry, she could finally shake off the feeling the scolding was out of character. Maybe he was having a bad day. She thought of confronting him but then decided against it. Why bother? She didn't need it, the stress. She hadn't expected to see him here, especially not after their recent encounter at John Industries. I mean, it is obvious it was a family event. Still, she hoped not to see him. His eyes widened, mirroring her stunned expressions before they could react. Without a word, he took her hand, slipping the ringer onto her finger. Felt a spark of electricity as their skin touched. His eyes seemed to bore into hers. Without a word, she took the ring from her family member. She slid it into his finger. Congratulations were heard all along the room. Their eyes locked on each other. The family expectations, all these things were constantly coming into their mind. But among all these things, one thing that was certain. This was going to be a wild ride. The night still felt unreal. The ring on finger glimmered faintly under the dim lights of the harbor. But instead of warmth, it burned against her skin. The echo of laughter and chatter from the party faded as she wandered further. I need to talk to him. I need to know if this is real. Her footsteps slowed when she caught a muffled sound, a hushed giggle, a voice she recognized. All too well was his. Curiosity turned into unease as she followed the sound. She peered inside. Time froze. There he was, not waiting for her, not searching for her. Instead, his hands were cupping Kira's face that looked far too familiar, too practiced. The world tilted. Her breath caught in her throat, a thousand sharp of disbelief stabbing at her heart. She didn't move, didn't breathe, only watched as the man who had just laid a ring on her finger kissed someone else like she meant nothing at all.